video compares 3 common types of plastic used by holiday prop making companies. Now, let's go through each one of these. The first is standard Coroplast. Now, Holiday Coro has its name from Coro or Corrugated or Coroplast. Now, Coroplast is a trade name of a product, but it is generically named corrugated plastic. And it gets that name because it's basically almost like corrugated plastic. You can see that it has flutes, similar to the way you would have with cardboard. In this particular example, this product is 10 millimeters thick, so this is a thicker version. And there are various different thicknesses going way down to way up. Now, that is the most common plastic today, very inexpensive, and it does have what's called a grain. So just like a standard board, like a 2x4, it's going to be strong along its grain, going in compression or bending. This Coroplast has exactly the same thing. It's not like, for example, plywood. So if we take and bend it like this, we're bending it along its grain. Its grain is going this way. It wants to resist that. Now, this product cut from a full sheet means that the lines keep going up here. So the area where it could bend right up here is quite great because we have these lines and they're only held together with small amounts of plastic up here. So simply just going pop, and it just pops. It just bends. It's real easy to bend. As we're here, you can see that it takes quite a bit of effort to get this to bend. See how much we're bending it before it starts to deform? And here, we can just go pop, and it just pops. It's real easy. Now, nothing wrong with Coroplast. It's very inexpensive. Generally, this is not an issue in most props, especially if you have enough space. But if you have very detailed props that have a lot of area where they could bend, or small areas where they're connecting pieces together, very intricate props, this may not necessarily be your best choice. All right, so next on our list here is a product called Maxcor. So Maxcor is the same thing as regular Coroplast. You can see its little square boxes. And the only difference between the square boxes is that it has X's in the middle. So it has X's going down. Now, that basically makes it a stronger 2x4. So if you're thinking of a pine 2x4, in this example, this might be the equivalent of an oak tree. So it's stronger, but it's still the same kind of product. It wants to stay strong along its grain, going this way, but it does not do well going in this direction, across its grain. So again, when we bend this, you can see that it bends quite easy. In fact, it has a quite bigger bend radius than standard Coroplast, but it eventually gives up. So you can see it bending there. And it bent along the holes, right? So this is an improvement over standard Coroplast. Now, this product is, of course, more expensive. There is just more plastic in here. Now, it does not have any improvements over the normal locations you would bend. So just like we took this one and bent that, it's going to have the same issues. So you can see it's just really easy to bend this. It's no problem, especially at the points where it's got stresses, where there's not much material, it just bends no problem at all. So for props that are going across the grain, you know, if you've got the support or the area you're holding, it's in this direction across the grain, great. If it's going against the grain, yeah, not any better. So Maxcor, an improvement over regular Coro, but not a super improvement. Now the next product we have is Bubble X. Now this product here is not directional. Now it's hard to tell because this product doesn't have any flutes, and so you'll see that there's no flutes really in here. You can see that there's some holes in here, and what there are is basically bubbles or circles all throughout this. So they take 2 separate sheets, a sheet on the top and a sheet on the bottom, and then they put a layer in the middle and fuse the whole thing together. So this is actually a process where you have 3 parts coming together, as where these products are fully extruded. It is not possible to extrude this product because the product is actually got pieces in the middle. It doesn't come out of a die. So what you have here is basically plywood Coroplast. So it is non-directional because the circles go every which direction. That means that it has structural stability much like plywood in all directions. And in plywood, you take a sheet like this, and a sheet like this, and a sheet like that, and a sheet like this, and it creates a nice, stable structure. Now, this Bubble X is also special material because it has a special finish, which allows very good printing. So some of this product, like on this Maxcor, only has partial treatment. It's not really perfectly designed for printing. This product is designed for full color printing, not printed in this case, of course, but is designed also for printing. So it's got structural capabilities also. So let's take and bend this, and you can see this. So we're going to bend it and bend it. I don't know if I can get that in there. See it? It's almost 180 degrees and nothing is creased yet. We're still bending it. And it's almost, there we go. You can see that there is significant improvements in this product to resisting bend in just this direction here, which normally was the strongest direction on regular Coro or Maxcor. Now, what about this end? Because this was always the harder end, the softer end that would bend easy. So if we take and bend this, and I'm really trying, and I can, so significant effort to bend this. I mean, this is just, it's very, very strong material. And its weight reflects that. So not only is there more material inside the plastic you can't see, its weight just is heavier because the thicker faces on this compared to regular, and so you can see even on Maxcor, it's just paper thin. It's not very thick at all. You can see all this face sheet, for example, is very, very thin. And in here, you have a hugely thick face and back sheet. And that combined with the center portion makes this product much, much stronger. Now, some pros and cons of this. Now, Maxcor and standard normal Coroplast are going to have an easier time of installing pixels. They're just more flexible. There's just not as much material, and they give easier. So it's a catch-22. You can either have a product that makes it easy to install pixels, or a product that's more stable. So a vendor using these products would normally want to use a product based upon its intended application. So if you have a very detailed prop that is going to possibly have small elements that could bend under reasonable circumstances, such as putting it up, carrying it around, dropping it on the ground, installing pixels. If those things are going to bend the product, the vendor needs to use the appropriate kind of Coroplast for that. And so in some cases, the cheapest and easiest will be this. Easy to install pixels, very flexible, but not very strong. Now, Bubble X, much harder to install pixels. Typically, you'll use pixel pliers to install the material or the pixels because this material is, again, got stronger face and back sheets, and that makes it harder to install pixels. Now, it also means pixels are much less likely to come out, and of course, because you are building your prop out of something that is stronger to begin with, you may not have to build it twice when it breaks later or bends or gets floppy. So hopefully this has been helpful to understanding the differences between the three common types of Coroplast-based type materials used in holiday props.